All right, we're going to the Crucible again with Andrew Wilson. And this one we're going to do reaction to is when your entire worldview is just vibes, Papa Gut Exposed. So I'm interested to see how this one goes. This one is a little bit longer than the usual ones we look at, but let's jump right into it so we don't have to have a 3,000 hour video. So let's jump right into it.
Feminists operate under a worldview, and that worldview that they operate under is very secular and is usually agnostic towards God. Do you agree with that?
Maybe. I guess so. I mean, well, why would it be agnostic towards God? Is it because like the woman has
Because generally, if you follow an Abrahamic religion, they're patriarchal. So if feminists want to destroy the patriarchy, then necessarily they tend to stay away from Abrahamic religions,
so you're
right?
saying that like if a woman wants to have like be seen or have an equal role as a man, that would be counterintuitive to religion.
Well, an equal role in what way? Depends on the way.
Just in the same being able to work and I guess lead a household or have an equal contribution to leading a household.
Well, no, that would depend on circumstance. So the thing is like that's not what we mean by a patriarchal religion. It means that the body or the head of the religion is going to be male necessarily. Like women can't preach, they can't have positions of authority over men inside the church. It's necessarily patriarchal. So if your goal is to dismantle patriarchy, obviously you're going to be steering clear of Abrahamic religions.
Okay, yeah, so like the feminism is counterintuitive to religion because it advocates that women have like the ability to be equal in all ways to men.
Even including within the church, right? Or even if they didn't think that you needed to in the church,
well, no, even outside the church,
they would still be trying to dismantle the patriarchal nature of the church. That's the point of feminism.
I don't usually see a lot of feminism that's like specifically religious related, so maybe there's something I'm not seeing. But like generally speaking, it seems like you're saying that because feminism advocates for women to be equal to men, it's against religion because religion is supposed to put men. I mean, maybe you wouldn't say higher than women, but like in a different classification as women.
The point of feminism is to dismantle patriarchal systems. That's the point. So there's an oppressed class. If women are the oppressed class, then who's the oppressor class? Men, right?
Sure.
Yeah, it has to be. That's the deduction. Who are women? Women aren't being oppressed by women; they're being oppressed by men, right? So that's the patriarchy. If you have some kind of organizations that is necessarily patriarchal, in this case, the church is going to be necessarily patriarchal. They're going to want to dismantle the elements of that make it patriarchal.
So do you have like an issue with women wanting to work and get equal pay or work similar or the same jobs as men? Or is
women have always worked?
I don't understand why the feminist people that support feminism always can't follow the logic that is being put out there about the patriarchy. I don't understand why they keep appealing to. It's like they can't understand what's being said. And this Papa Gut guy, he comes out and he says, well, are you saying that women can't do this? And nobody said that. Nobody's saying that. I mean, follow the argument.
That's some bizarre.
Like, should men be like I'm just trying to flush you out.
What do you mean?
Or should women be able to be CEOs or anything like that? Or is there?
Yeah, I don't care. It's completely irrelevant.
Oh, so then what would that be negative toward? I've never seen feminism that actively is negative towards religion. So I don't really. I don't see how
you haven't.
These two
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. So did he really say that? Did he really say he hasn't seen any feminism be negative toward religion? What do you mean?
So you don't see feminist movements which are trying to get like female priests and female preachers and like in the Catholic Church they've been fighting.
He said he just said no. That's bullshit. That's what they do. That's what they're trying to get into the churches and take it over, and there's been so many videos come out, especially here lately with the ICE stuff going on and the abortions and stuff. These feminine, these women, these leftist feminist women are getting in positions at these churches and trying to influence the congregation to follow their feminine beliefs. This guy's lost it. If he says this isn't happening, he's lost his mind, or he just sits in the corner in his room and looks at the corner and never hears anything else.
For 100 years, the massive movement towards getting females who are in positions of power and authority.
Not in the church. It's really not something.
Oh my God!
I trust that it's happening.
It is happening.
I mean,
It's been happening in the Orthodox Church.
Unbelievable.
In all the Protestant churches, and yeah.
Are you okay with feminism outside of the church then,
No.
or is it just inside the
No,
church?
all feminism bad.
Okay, gotcha. So why, if it's like setting the church part aside,
Because it's illogical.
Yep.
It's an illogical position. It's you.
Yep.
In order to deconstruct patriarchy, you have to appeal to the patriarchy. It's necessarily circular. Well, how are women going to overthrow the patriarchy without appealing to the patriarchy?
Maybe we have a different understanding of feminism, because when I see feminism, it's not explicitly about overthrowing a patriarchy, and it's more just about women having the ability to work and get divorced and things of that nature, so that they can have an equal footing to a man.
Then what's the difference between feminism and liberalism?
I don't know.
You don't know.
No.
They're just the same thing.
Sure. I mean, I don't really know
Sure.
what liberalism is.
No, they're distinct ideologies. The purpose of feminism is to deconstruct patriarchal systems because they consider them an oppressor class.
And you don't
Every single definition you could pull up right now of feminism is going to include deconstructing patriarchy.
Okay, so you don't like feminism because it wants to deconstruct patriarchy, and you think that patriarchy.
No, I don't even think it's possible. I think it's an irrational position.
Okay.
You can't, because you're appealing to the very same thing that you're trying to overthrow it, which means you're necessarily going to always be appealing to the thing to overthrow the thing, because you don't have the requisite force to overthrow it yourself.
Correct.
What's the thing? What are they appealing to?
The patriarchy.
So the issue with feminism is that they appeal to patriarchy to overthrow the patriarchy.
Yeah.
They have to.
What does that look like?
Well, okay, so like let's take the Middle East for instance. When Middle Easterners tell women that they don't have any rights, do women have rights anymore?
When they just tell them? I mean, I don't know. It seems like they have an oppressive structure that takes away their rights.
Does seem like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What can women do about that? Nothing, right?
Right. Okay. So you're saying that they need the patriarchy to fight against the patriarchy, and so it always.
Yeah, they're necessarily appealing to the patriarchy over and over and over and over and over again. They're trying to dismantle a thing by appealing to the thing to dismantle the thing in an infinite regress.
But it seems to work at least better in the United States or other Western countries than Eastern countries. So it seems like it's working.
As long as so all you're saying is that the patriarchy is benevolent.
Yeah, as long as
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, doesn't
But
it seem like you should be a little bit thankful for the benevolence of men then?
I guess so.
I guess so, yeah.
But wouldn't it be men
I guess
that put
so.
in that position in the first place? So you're being
Wait, hang on.
Thankful.
Hang on.
Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wouldn't men in general? Because I don't think that every man alive is a creator of patriarchy. I think it's ridiculous to blame all men for patriarchy. I think that's just stupid. But historically, it's men who created the patriarchy. So why would you need to be like super thankful to the group of people who created the patriarchy?
Because if you're a feminist and you have no morality, no structured morality, and rights are just social constructs, and all of these things are just products of the mind, then malevolence and benevolence has no grounding. So you're just basically, there's no position from which you can critique the malevolence of the patriarchy or the benevolence of the patriarchy. So if men want to oppress women from the feminist worldview, they have no position from which to criticize them, except, well, we just prefer that you don't. And if men say, oh, well, we just prefer that we do, what's their grounding then, dude? What are they going to appeal to then?
Well, it sounds like we're getting more to a conversation about some kind of objective morality rather than getting into a conversation about whether it's effective, because it has been effective.
Forget objective morality. Let's just say it doesn't exist. It's irrelevant. Let's just say that all morality is subjective.
Mm-hmm.
And who's the subject? You, right?
Okay, sure.
Okay, so if you're the subject and I'm the subject, and I want to punish you for whatever particular reason I want, what makes me less right than you?
Oh,
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Let's see if he can back his way out of this one. This is going. This it comes down to this pretty much every time. What is your morality? What is your backing for your morality? What is the what is do you have a solid foundation to or anything like that? This is what it's going to come down to.
is it going to be like a force doctrine thing? Because like I could physically stop you from punishing me or something. Is that what you're looking for?
No,
Because it seems like we're getting very overly complicated on.
we're not overly complex at all.
I think so. I think that the simplified version of this is like, hey, women want access to more rights and some kind of equal rights to be on a more equal footing, so that they don't have to be put into positions of being
Because they
men.
prefer them.
Prefer what, equal rights?
Yeah.
Yep.
I guess.
So what if men don't prefer to give it to them? Why are those men wrong?
Then I guess we'd be in the Middle East.
Yeah, but why are those men wrong if they don't want to?
Why are they right if they want to be able to?
Yeah, that's answering a question with a question. Answer the question, then ask the
Yeah.
question.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
That is fair.
I think that society is functions more healthily when men and women both have equal say in pretty much every structure.
Yeah, but you see how that just goes back to preference? I think
I
subject.
guess.
I'm the subject, right? Me, the subject.
Why is
thinks
your
that that's
preference
bad.
better than my preference?
Yeah, that's my question to you. Why is your preference better than my preference? Why?
I think that just makes more sense because you put people into a position when you have one class of people with a higher amount of power over another, it very quickly can lead to whether it's men or women.
Yeah, but
having
see, we're back to that's circular. It just goes back to the same question.
I don't think it's
If men or women, why is that bad?
because they're getting hurt.
So
It's usually
yeah, so why is that bad though? Just because you
that we
think?
should hurt people.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't-
Me, I don't think we should
Yeah.
do it. So you just back to the preference again.
Yes.
Okay, so you think that being hurt is preferable or okay for women?
I think that if your morality boils down to preference, then you just saying I prefer that you don't do this,
Well, I
and me
think that-
saying well I prefer that I do this. You have
Well, I think
no
my
basis
morality
for which
boils
to
down.
say that I'm
I do.
wrong. What?
I have my morality just boils down to, I guess, like fundamentally treating people with respect. I don't know, and not people.
No preferences.
Yeah, it's my preference. So we're getting like I said like a couple minutes ago, we're getting into a conversation about objective morality. Why don't we just go there?
We already are there.
Oh, okay.
There's no reason to justify objective morality if it's the case that morality is subject, meaning subject to you. Why would I ever need to justify anything besides fine? Then I'll just use force to do whatever I want because I'm the subject.
Are you saying that's okay or?
And under a subjectivist worldview, yeah, it'd be fine. I'm the subject.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
Yeah.
I guess there'd have to be enough people who disagreed with you to want to counter against that.
That's still
Is that
there.
the foundation of America.
So
though?
then
Right?
by that same logic, as long as there's enough people who say no, then I'm right.
Yep.
Unfortunately, that would be how it would work. Yeah.
Yep.
But hopefully,
Yeah,
it
right.
is that
So
way.
so then
I mean, we're in
Do
a
you
constant
see-
like, battle of opinions and ideas.
yeah, do you
right?
see why
how
that's
the
not a
world
tenable?
is.
Do you see why that's not a tenable position?
Why?
Because if
Why did he get to say why? This. I'm curious to why this dude just said why. I mean, it's pretty obvious if you use a subjective. If you're constantly using your own subjective opinion, then what's more valid? Your opinion. It's like a battle of, well, this is my opinion and this is your opinion. So who's going to win? But at the same time, how can you say with your opinion something is bad, and then you're using subjective opinions over here? How can you tell that person their opinion is wrong even though it's totally different than yours? That's the question. How is it bad if we're going to use subjective opinions constantly?
that's the case, then any critique that you have of any of the things that you consider men do to women which are malevolent is just a matter of subject. To the subject, the woman says, no, I don't like this, therefore it's wrong. The man says, no, I do like this, therefore it's right. How do we define or decide who's correct there? without appealing to the masses, because if the masses agree with me that I could my wife, then I'm morally correct. And if the masses believe that I should not my wife, then I'm morally incorrect.
That's how it is. Yeah, you have to appeal to the masses of people if you want to live in a society.
So
Yeah,
morality is subject to the masses. So if that's the case, my friend, then if the masses say that you should be able to, with, you actually have no moral argument that you can make against that now.
Yep.
Well, I do have a moral argument.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
No, you don't.
Personally,
No.
No, you don't.
You just said that your personal morality
Right.
is subject to the masses.
yeah. Well, no, what I said is that I didn't say my personal, and if I did insinuate, that's not what I meant. What I said is that like societal morality, unfortunately, is going to be subject to the masses.
So
I
then,
can have a personal morality, and I can advocate for that morality, and I can try to use different things to get people to understand why I think and why they would think, by extension, we should have that type of a morality.
then
So,
you're the ultimate arbiter of morality.
Correct.
we would all be the ultimate arbiter.
Well,
No. You literally, you say you have your own personal morality, even though the mass over here has come up with something they're going to do and you would disagree with it. Yeah, you have your own, but you're trying to say that you're trying to influence more people to overcome this, which is fine. But you're basically saying you're appealing to your morality, your subjective morality. That this is where
Yeah,
It's just a society of
do you
advocacy.
understand that we all could not? It's not possible for all of us to be the ultimate arbiter of morality. There would
Correct.
have to be one arbiter of morality, or no arbiters of
That
morality.
would be counterintuitive to like a democracy or a democratic republic, right? We're not. There's no. Well, I guess you say the president, but like we all have the ability to cast our vote, which contributes
Yeah,
to our morality.
but now you have a
as society.
separate. Now you have a separate problem. If we, as a democracy, decide you can marry, you still would say that's wrong.
Yeah.
What would make that wrong except your
I don't think
preference?
it's a problem to say I was wrong.
Yeah, what would make it wrong other than your preference?
Right. So I would have a conversation about how it's.
That's nice. They don't care
No.
about your conversation. They think you're an idiot.
Well,
What makes you right?
Don't they have a? Don't they do? Don't they?
No, if
That's how politics always work.
democratically they decide you can. Papa Gut says no, you can't. That's against my preferences. What makes you right and all of them wrong?
that's the question.
What makes you morally correct and all of them morally incorrect?
I think it's wrong. Right. So that's what I'm going to keep saying.
You think
We're
it's
gonna keep
wrong?
dancing around. We're going to keep dancing.
So it's
around
wrong.
saying that
So
it's
it's wrong
morality, right?
because you think it's wrong. So you're the
I think it's
ultimate
wrong for a lot
arbiter.
of people. Well, no, it's wrong. Well, I don't have like me thinking something's wrong doesn't change legislation, right? So like me.
We're not talking about
thinking something's
legislation.
wrong.
We're talking about what's moral.
When you say ultimate arbiter, that's what.
So if legislators get together, okay, and like 80% of the people agree with them, actually, you know what? Let's make it super easy. 99.99999%. Only you disagree with them. You would still object to that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but didn't we?
So
just have
if
a
you would
society
still
that was
object to
more
that, what would make your objection moral and all of them immoral?
Well, I was.
Well, see, all Andrew's trying to do is get him to admit that your morality comes from a higher being. In his case, God or Jesus or whatever, and not your own human thoughts. So, and I know this guy has to know that that's where he's trying to go because he keeps just, I don't know. This is, he's just not cooperating with Andrew here.
Say that. Okay, I'm assuming that you're doing like a debate thing, like you're doing.
It's not a debate
No.
thing. It's a legitimate
I
question.
don't know why- I don't think it is a legitimate question. I
Why?
think that we're
What's
dancing around
illegitimate
this-
about it?
I think that we're dancing around this idea.
We're
like,
right at the
morality.
heart. We're right at the heart of it. If it's the case that you believe everybody else is wrong, why are you morally correct and all of them are morally incorrect? What makes you right and all of them wrong? What makes you
Yeah,
morally correct and they're all morally incorrect?
yeah. Well, I already answered the question, so I don't.
That doesn't. You know,
You
you didn't
didn't.
answer the question. You didn't answer it.
You're not satisfied with the.
Well, here,
you're
let me show you what
what
your
the fuck?
answer. I'll show you your answer.
You're not satisfied
Because
You're
there
not
wasn't an
satisfied
answer.
with it, but that was the answer.
Here's what you said. I said, why is it that would be the case that you're morally correct and all of them are morally wrong? And you said, because I'd have a conversation with them. What the does that mean? What the does that mean, bro?
So why not just give me your perspective so I can understand better?
Okay, here's my perspective. My perspective is that it's irrelevant for me to have to ground any sort of morality from to a person who can't explain to me why it is that anything I do is immoral.
Okay. So what's your morality based on?
Who cares? It's irrelevant. Can you tell me why, even if it was based in total lies, it would be immoral? No, no, you can't. You can't do it.
I think that like a pretty normal person would look at what I'm saying and say like, oh yeah, we're a collection of different people with different ideas, and that's how our governmental structure has been created and evolved
That's irrelevant.
over time.
Totally irrelevant.
And so, like, you disagree with that. That's okay. So, like, where do you source your ideology from? Like, is it very religious centric?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
So now help me out here. If you can't tell me that anything that I do is immoral without appealing to a consensus, and you say as long as the consensus is on my side, then that means what I'm doing is moral. Then that would mean that if I advocated for the most horrific things in the world, can you tell me why that's immoral?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would take away someone's agency and autonomy over themselves, which they should be able to have over themselves. It's wrong. It's harmful and it's bad.
Yeah, but do you see how that's a tautology? It's tautological.
I think it's perfectly rational, reasonable, and it's what we've been founding our entire structure on for since we started.
It's bad because it's bad.
Sure, if that's what you got out of what I said, sure.
That's what you said. It's bad because I think it's bad because I think it's bad.
From what I said, sure, yeah.
Well, if the consensus is on my side, then what would make us immoral and you moral?
I guess nothing.
Nothing.
I guess.
Sure. So if the answer is nothing, then you have no position from which to critique ever. Hang on. You have no position in which to critique the morality of anybody ever.
Ever.
So how is it that my position that I'm saying has been how we've been operating since like the start of our country?
It isn't.
Somehow.
That's right. It's not.
The country operated under a shared axiom of under God.
Okay.
That was the shared axiomatic presence. Was that all of these rights are justified because we ground them in something higher than ourselves. From your view, all rights are justified because you like them. And if the consensus says that we don't like them anymore, you don't have any grounding anymore other than your own preference for why bad.
Me thinking.
I don't understand how you can argue that. I mean, it's true. What he's saying is, if you appeal to everybody's the groups, how can you argue that they're wrong? I mean, if that's the grounding of your beliefs. I mean, if you have no morals, like Andrew said, under God, that's the one thing that grounds it all. So, anyway, I enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again. Subscribe to the channel. Until next time, see ya.